Hey everybody, I want to talk about a product and platform that I absolutely love and our latest sponsor, Interseller, the prospecting and outreach platform of choice for recruiters and sellers. Whether you're doubling down on business development or recruiting talent, Interseller does all the heavy lifting of finding contact data, automating the email and follow-up process, and syncs all that rich data into 20 plus CRM and ATS platforms. Reach out now and get going on a 2-week free trial and let them know you heard about it from Adam on the podcast today. Check out the link on the website. Appreciate it.
Welcome to the podcast, where we introduce you to incredible humans who share their journeys with the mission to inspire you to harness your own inner tenacity to drive your life and career forward. And now, your host, Adam Posner.
Welcome to the podcast and the Immutable Mindset. We are recording here live at Lucas Oil Field. It is day 3. And I was just telling Jesse that I slid into day 3 physically, metaphorically, literally, whatever the hell you want to say, on the slide behind us, behind the Viper Safe. You going to give it a shot later?
I'm going to give the slide the shot. Absolutely. I'm excited for it.
I'm excited for this interview. So we're recording also for the Immutable Mindset, which is our Web3 show. Awesome. So we're going to get into that. And with the podcast, we like to talk about career journeys. So Jesse works for a little company called Coinbase, and he is the founder of Base, the creator of Base,
creator of Base.
So tell everyone what Base is.
Yeah. So Base is an Ethereum layer 2 blockchain. The whole idea is we've built all these incredibly powerful new kinds of applications on Ethereum, things like the ability to save, spend, support your favorite creators with NFTs, but all those things have been really expensive to do.
Right.
And so what Base does is it makes it 10 to 100 times cheaper and makes it way easier as well. And so that's the whole idea. It's take those incredible apps that everyone's starting to use and make them so cheap that anyone anywhere in the world can access them.
Right. And just hot take right now. Why the hell is ETH so high? Why gas fees so high? They're out of control.
Gas fees are high. I mean, it's Pepe. Pepe is driving the gas
fucking
fees up.
Shitcoins, man.
But this is kind of exactly what we expect from the e-scaling strategy.
And what is that for noobs out there like myself?
Yeah. So basically 2 years ago, Ethereum said, hey, the way we're going to lower fees on Ethereum is we're going to do layer 2s on top of Ethereum like Base. And so the Ethereum fees are going to keep getting expensive. They're going to keep being expensive, but then people are going to be able to use the same apps that they would want to use on Ethereum on Base and other layer 2s. And so the plan is kind of working exactly as we expect. We're in this little kind of in-between period where the layer 2s aren't quite as mature, aren't quite as rolled out as they need to be. But I think in the next few months, that's going to really start to change.
And I appreciate you sharing that perspective for folks out there. I mean, how would I explain what Coinbase is to my mom?
Yeah, I think Coinbase is...
Sorry, Mom, I'm using it as an example all weekend, but if you're watching this, Mom, it's because of love. And I want you to know what your son does for a living, and now you have somebody else explain it. Yeah. A little bit of a hack here.
Yeah, I'd say what Coinbase does is there's a whole new world of apps that are being built. And those apps are kind of like the apps on your iPhone, but they're available to anyone in the world. They enable really powerful new things with money, and they're accessible through Coinbase. And so Coinbase is kind of like the App Store for this entirely new wave of apps that are being built.
I'm a big fan and proponent of Coinbase myself. Let's talk about your background a little bit. I assume you weren't always in Web3 because you don't seem that young. Talk to us a little bit about your background and your journey into Web3, personal experience.
I've got the gray beard starting to come in here. No, I dropped out of school in 2013 to start a company that was doing kind of security and authentication. It was called a Clef. And we started working with crypto companies pretty quickly because we identified those were the people who needed security and ease of use.
So you're an engineer by trade?
Engineer by trade.
Okay.
And so in 2013, 2014, we were working with folks like Bitfinex and BitMEX, kind of like early Bitcoin and crypto companies. That business didn't really work out.
What happened?
I think
it's important to talk about the failures and the lessons learned from them.
It was super hard. I think that we were trying to replace passwords and make it way easier for people to log in a secure way. And
replace passwords with
two-factor authentication, biometrics, 2FA, but all driven through your mobile phone. And so the idea was kind of the security of two-factor authentication, but with the ease of use of just holding your phone up. And I think we saw that there was a ton of demand from it for it from the consumer side, but on the business side, there just wasn't quite product market fit. And so we raised a couple $1 million and, built the product for a few years. And then we basically got to the point where, we aren't growing fast enough in order to make it. We went through tough decisions. We went through the kind of wind down / acquihire process, and Coinbase made an offer to acquire us. And that's how I ended up coming to Coinbase.
What do you love about working at Coinbase?
what do I love about working at Coinbase? I mean, I've now been at Coinbase for 6.5 years, which is incredible.
You're an OG, man.
OG. I spent 4.5 years growing all of our retail businesses. So Coinbase, Coinbase Pro, Coinbase Wallet on the engineering side, and then the last 2 years working towards Base. I'd say the thing I love most about Coinbase is I've been given a huge amount of autonomy and trust to just build. I was a founder before I came into Coinbase.
To give you the tools, they understand that you don't need to be micromanaged.
Exactly.
They want to foster. I mean, and correct me if I'm wrong, Bases, we'll call it an incubator within. An incubator accelerator within it with all the resources and tools. So they know that these are founders and their ethos and mode is back up a little bit. Let me build and give me what I need, and I'll be a lot better relationship 100%. And a happier Jesse.
And that's been the way it's been. When I interviewed at Coinbase, every single person I talked to was a founder. And that was like, for me, whoa, these are my people. And then over the last 6.5 years, it's continued to be the case where most of the people I've been working with have been founders in the past. And the ethos that we all bring is like that same feeling of ownership, autonomy, just like build cool shit and make an impact.
It's such an interesting outtake because it's a take because you think in an organization, like if you're looking from the outside, like, listen, it's almost like herding cats. If we put all these founders in a room, they're going to want to go rogue. They're going to want to do their own thing. But it actually created such a unique environment of innovation and cross collaboration. Talk to us a little bit about what that internal think tank cross collaboration is. Are you fully tapped in with everybody? Are you A/B testing, like doing some beta shit with people?
Yeah, I'd say at this point I'm very, very deeply interconnected with pretty much every part of the business. And I think this is one of the really powerful things about Base is because Base is kind of a developer platform where people build applications. Every part of Coinbase can use it. So our consumer products can use it. Our institutional products can use it. Like our growth team can use it. Our trading team can use it. And so that's this like moment where I get to just go work with all these people who I've known for 6 years at this point and be like, hey, I have this incredibly powerful new thing that's going to make your life easier. That's going to help you achieve your goals. That's going to make your product better. And it's been so fun. Like literally in the last few weeks, I've gone to, I think like 8-9 different team offsites where it was the other team having an offsite and they were like, hey, can you come talk about Base? And I came. We just got to shoot the shit, talk about what is Base, how is it going to impact you, how is it going to help you be more successful. And people are just so fired up. People are fired up to transform the business from kind of the Web 2 world that it was when it started in 2012 into this new on-chain, fully smart contract driven business that's going to be in the future.
I love this perspective. I think we're writing the new playbook of what a, dare I say, Web 2.5 into Web 3 company is going to look like these days. But you come from the world of retail engineering, engineering from the retail perspective.
Consumer.
How are you tapping into that insight and mindset as you build the UI and UX of Base?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, Base at its core is a developer platform, but on top of Base, there's all sorts of products that need to come together in order to make it really work for everyday people.
Like without getting into how the sausage is made.
Absolutely. I think
I said it like 18 times already, right, Chris?
So I think the thing that I'm bringing from that consumer perspective is really trying to think about what are going to be the forcing functions that drive us to make high quality consumer experiences. And the mental model that I've been kind of hammering home with myself and with our team is how do we get someone from zero to a magical moment where they do something good on crypto in less than 60 seconds? Zero.
So let's give us a hypothetical use case. Seconds. Let's give us a hypothetical.
Yeah, imagine that you're walking down the street and you see a billboard that's really cool that has your favorite artist on it and a QR code, and you're like, "Whoa, what's going on here?" You scan the QR code. You should be able to mint an NFT from that artist that gets you early access to their tickets, gets you entered to a raffle for VIP. You should be able to do it in less than 60 seconds. It should cost less than $5, and that should all be powered by crypto without you even have to worry about it. It just works.
Seamless experience, and I actually think that's like the key to onboard. Jesse, let's talk about security. I think that's the biggest risk right now and the biggest hesitation to bringing people on board, because those are the negative headlines are what's, the mainstream is like, shit, I don't want to lose my money. I don't want to lose my stuff. I have to actually, which is so crazy to think about. So I have a seed phrase and it's supposed to be fully digital and they tell me to write it down and hide it like under my mattress. Like what is this all about? Talk to me. What are some of the concerns that you have from an insider perspective, but also a consumer perspective? And what are some of the things that Coinbase and Base are doing to help smooth that over?
Yeah, I think security is such an important thing. We have to get people comfortable storing money on chain. And if we can't get people to do that, then we're going to have a hard time getting them to transact and save and borrow and earn and do all these things that we expect. And so I'd say like the thing that we're primarily focused on is building tools that make it so users can't make mistakes, right? So a recent example of this on the Coinbase side,
not fat finger,
right?
Or I'm literally using sometimes copy. copy and paste from my wallet address. Like you could like just fast finger something and send it to freaking Guam.
Yeah, it's crazy. So like an example of this is we rolled out a whole experience in Coinbase Wallet where we kind of work with the broader community to identify things that are fraudulent or phishing. And if you go to a website like that and you try and transact, we'll just put up a big page that says, hey, this is known phishing, and you'll have to confirm that you have to engage with it. And so that's like preventing users from being able to make the mistake. So I think that's one big part of it. And I think the other big part of it is giving the user tools so that they can kind of make better decisions as they are moving through this economy. And so, for instance, another example of that is, right now we in Coinbase Wallet, if you're going to do a transaction, we'll say, hey, when you do this transaction, it's going to subtract X from your ETH balance.
This is what's going to happen.
This is exactly what happens. This is how it changes. Then you have to confirm that that's what you expect. And I think that sort of kind of intuitive experience where people actually get to understand and see what's happening rather than being a black box is going to help people get more comfortable with the way it works.
That is fascinating. Let's get a couple of hot takes here.
Yeah. Love hot takes. Rapid fire.
Meme coins, cop them or drop them.
I think they're an important part of like the broader crypto economy. It's not a thing that I spend a lot of time doing, but I think we're seeing new kinds of behaviors on chain. And generally, I think I'm here for creativity. We obviously have to figure out how to make it so folks are operating in a safe and trusted environment. And I think that there's a boundary there that can be crossed. And so we both need to create that space for people to experiment, and we need to be building tools and systems to protect everyday people.
Hey, what's up, everybody? People ask me all the time, Adam, where do you get your alpha from every day in the Web3 space? And my go-to is The Daily Ralpha. The Daily Ralpha is the best newsletter about what's going on in the Web3, NFTs, and emerging tech world. Get market intel, drops to watch, early project finds, the hottest NFT art, news, jobs, tools, and more delivered directly to your inbox every day for absolutely free. Join over 85,000 people who get the Daily Ralpha and get everything they need to know in 5 minutes or less. It's like the morning brew or their skim of Web3, and more than 500 editions so far. I get this every day, and so should you. Check it out and subscribe at dailyralpha.com. DAILYRALPHA.com. Check it out.
What are you bullish on right now in the NFT space?
I'm most bullish on new kinds of behaviors that we think are going to be uniquely enabled by NFTs. So I mean, by layer 2. So like the open edition stuff that's been happening where you're having kind of time-based mints that are very low cost, where
Jimmy
on L2
Cowd over here is doing one pretty cool out there.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, and on L2, those are going to cost 10 cents, and it could be like total mint cost is $2. And then that gets you access to like early tickets, or it gets you to participate in some way and feel just like this meaningful connection with someone. Like, I think that kind of consumer behavior is something that people are going to start doing on a daily basis. And it's going to be way more kind of impactful in terms of bringing billions of people on chain than the current form of, or the historical form of NFTs, which are like these high price things that are only accessible to a small number of people.
Do you think NFT is a dirty word? Got a bad rap?
I think that NFT definitely has some baggage attached to it. Where my head's at is I think that what we're going to see is we're going to see most things flip to being called on-chain X. So it'll be like on-chain art, on-chain music, on-chain videos, on-chain whatever. In the same way we kind of had online shopping, online music, online art. We're going to see the same thing happen with this new word on-chain, which is, on-chain is the next online. It's kind of this transformation that we're doing. And I think that's going to remove kind of this technical term of NFTs and start to recontextualize users with the kind of like, what am I actually doing? Which is going to be the art, the music, the shopping, etc.
What keeps you up at night thinking from a work perspective, either from a positive innovation standpoint or something that you're scared about in the industry?
I think
lead with positivity.
Yeah. I think positivity is, this is both positivity and definitely worry, but I think that, we've been building for the last 11 years infrastructure to make crypto usable. And I think that we've been kind of collectively traumatized by the fact that it's never really happened. Like we haven't seen that utility come, and therefore we haven't seen the total growth curve except for around speculation.
We're still so early.
We're still early, but I think that the positive thing that gets me really excited is it feels like all the pieces are now here and they just need to click. And I think that click is going to happen faster than people expect.
What do you think that moment's going to be?
I think it's this summer.
But could you envision what that Is it more of a time frame perspective? Is that going to be like like Starbucks? Is it going to change the world? Like everyone's going to be like, yay, we're in Web3.
I don't think it's
Odyssey.
I don't think it's going to be any one company. I think it's going to be creators. I think it's going to be creators who start to realize that if they bring their content on chain, they're going to get better economics for themselves because they're actually going to own the content. Mm-hmm. They're going to have more meaningful, more connected experiences with their fans. They're going to be able to do way more powerful things because they're issuing content into this incredibly powerful platform on top of which they can layer a bunch of other things. And that's going to flip in. And if you look at what's driven billions of people online, it's creators and it's content, it's TikTok, it's Instagram.
Any cultural shift goes with the artists and the musicians. That's 100%. Where it starts. Yep. Let's take a question from the host of The Immutable Mindset, Kevin Logan Jr., who is not here with us today. And he says, Jesse, as Base is currently in the testnet phase, you could tell this is not my question, and I'm reading it. What have been some of the key learnings and challenges so far, and how will these experiences inform the rollout of mainnet?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen
nerds. Sorry, I love you, Kevin.
We've seen so many developers building on Base. I think that's been one of the things that's gotten us so excited. Like literally thousands, tens of thousands of people coming to build. I think a few learnings from that. One is that we're still early in terms of total developers. Like there's 30,000 people in the broader ecosystem who are on-chain developers. There's 30 million developers in the world.
That's a lot.
And so we just launched this thing called Basecamp, which is basically a whole curriculum to teach people how to become on-chain developers by learning smart contracts. You earn NFTs as you go. All about empowerment, all about converting those 30 million into the first million on-chain developers.
Side question. What's the demographic of that? If you had to break it down, is it male, female?
You mean the developers in the world, or
in your system?
Oh, in your ecosystem. We don't know the exact we don't know. Like we basically see addresses, and so we don't have the exact demographics.
Are you guys doing anything though to promote and bring more gender equity and gender equality into the Web3? Because that's a big thing, right? I'm not trying to put you in the spot or based on the spot here, but I think an organization as large and upfront and in everyone's mindset should be leading the way in that.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of our values that we hammer home kind of all the time is this concept of bases for everyone. And I'd say the place that we're actually most focused on this right now is around geographic diversity. If you look at where crypto is being used around the world, the United States is like smaller, but Africa is massive. The biggest.
That's the biggest use case too.
Southeast Asia,
finance.
Basically anywhere where you have less kind of solid financial systems. And so we're running these things called base meetups, where literally in June, I think we have 8 different meetups in countries all around the world scheduled. And we're just going to keep building that. And the goal is to have 100 meetups like in the next 6 months that are all bottoms up, all organic. I'm planning to be in Africa later this year, planning to be in Asia, and just really tell the story that Base is a platform that's not just for people in the United States, it's for everyone. It's not just for finance, it's for everyone. It's not just for, pick your small thing that you care about. It's for you and it's for everyone else. And I think that openness, that is a fundamental characteristic of blockchains. And it's something that we really want to be leaning in because that's what's going to create this open level playing field that puts everyone on the same platform and gives them access to more economic freedom.
I love that perspective and thank you so much for sharing it. What advice would you give young developers out there to step up their game? Yeah,
I would just say go start building, go start writing code. Like literally with smart contracts, you can deploy your first dApp on Base in less than an hour. You can work through this curriculum with Basecamp, earn NFTs as you go. And I think in a few weeks, you'll be able to get pretty far. And then what we've seen is that, if you look at Uniswap, if you look at a lot of these protocols that have been massively successful, the first versions were built by 1 or 2 people in months, not years. And this is because the platform, like the tools of on-chain are literally 10 times more powerful than anything we've ever had before. And so if you're young and you're just getting started, go build, because you're going to build something that could reach billions of people.
I love it. Let's get into some personal stuff, if you don't mind, for a minute.
Sure.
How do you keep yourself creatively inspired?
Ooh. Good question. How do I keep myself creatively inspired?
What do you like when you want to take a break? When you want to take a break from the work stuff, and you want to open up your mind, and you want to let in vibes, frequencies. I'm not trying to get all hippie dippy here.
Yeah. I go on a lot of walks at sunset. That's my favorite thing to do.
Doing ayahuasca with spider monkeys up in the Himalayas over here. We know this.
No, there's a skate park that's right by my house, and I used to skate a little bit. I live on the East Coast some of the time and the West Coast some of the time. But when evenings, most days, I'll go on a walk. The skate park's on a hill, and so you get to see the sunset. There's these benches by the skate park, and just sitting there and like watching people do this activity of skating back and forth, trying tricks, falling all the time, I find it to be just incredibly therapeutic. So I'd say like probably going on walks by myself or going on walks with my wife is the thing I do most to get creative. Running. I run every day basically.
Good on you, man. What are you reading or watching these days?
What am I reading or watching these days? Watching, I just finished Succession. It was great.
We're at episode 4, season 1 right now. Yeah. I'm loving it. I'm like, God, I just want to watch all of it at once.
Really, a mix of incredible and painful. Watching Ted Lasso. I love Ted Lasso. I played soccer growing up.
It's so good. Come on. How could anyone hate? Like, when people say they don't like it, I'm like, please, they literally wrote this show for you have to love this show. How do you not like Ted Lasso?
Yeah.
Who's your favorite character?
I like Ted. I mean, like one of the things I feel about myself is that if I wasn't doing this, I would be a coach of some kind. Like I would be a soccer coach. I love playing soccer and I love coaching people and I love supporting teams. Like it's really my favorite thing, and being in it, like, oh man, there's just nothing like it. So that's what I'm watching. On the reading side, I just finished this series called the Vorkosigan series, which is, written in the 80s. And it's like a 17-piece sci-fi series that's really just incredible. And it tells the story of probably this one character, Miles Vorkosigan, he's like one of the most creative, generative, like, honestly, he's just kind of an inspirational figure. And it's been really, I don't know, like it's been interesting to figure out where I find inspiration. But in reading those books, I feel like I found a lot of inspiration from him to kind of push my boundaries and feel...
Inspiration comes. Is your wife in the Web3 space? Is she knowledgeable? Does she not want to hear anything about work when you're done for the day? Or are you like up in her knowledge base so you could at least talk about what's going on?
Oh no, yeah, she's
a little bit more than the average bear.
She's not in the space, but she's we spend a lot of time talking about crypto and the work that I do, and she can explain everything almost as good or better than I can in a lot of the cases. She has a really unique perspective, and I'd say the thing that we probably spend the most time on is she indulges me and spends a lot of time with me just talking about like what's the gap between like how I think about things from a technical perspective and how everyday people think about things. And her perspective has been so valuable in like helping me cross that chasm a little bit and see, whoa, if I reframe this in this way, or if I talk in this way, or if we do this product, it's going to land better. Yeah.
You're too good.
She's awesome though. I'm so grateful. So grateful.
It's all about having that rock. And last but not least, Jesse, what is your superpower that just makes you different and special and who you are?
I'd say that I am like a relentless optimist. Like there's nothing, and that doesn't come without fear and uncertainty. Like I wake up most mornings and I'm fearful and uncertain in some way, stressing about something. But at my core, I believe and have been raised to believe that anything is possible, and that if we just put our minds to it, we can accomplish anything. And that the way to do that is to just be positive and to bring other people into that positivity and to lift people up rather than put them down. And I think that seeps into everything we do. It seeps into what base is. And I think it's a superpower that, has made me, has brought me to where I am.
I love it, man. And we're going to end it on that point. Where could folks find you? Where could they connect? Where could they learn more?
Yeah. If you want to build on Base, go to base.org. You can get started building right now, base.org. Very easy. If you want to find me, you can find me on Twitter at Jesse Pollak. You can find me on Farcaster and Lens, also at Jesse Pollak. I love the decentralized social platforms. Would love to support you if you're building.
That's awesome. Jesse Pollak, thank you so much for joining me today on the podcast and the Immutable Mindset. Little crossovers, folks. Last question. Who are you looking forward to hearing? We got a couple more hours.
I'm looking forward to going on Slide.
Let's do it. All right, Jesse Pollak, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us.
Wisdom is forever, but for us, it's time to go. Thank you for joining us. Luckily, we'll be back with our next episode soon, jam-packed with more incredible humans. Thank you for listening, subscribing, and sharing. To join the conversation, search the podcast on LinkedIn. And to catch up on past episodes and more info, please visit www.thepodcast.com.